Now I'd like to introduce our speaker, Chris Moy, and the rest of the LocknCharge team on today's call. Chris is our Director of Strategic Partnerships here at LocknCharge. AJ Lamb and Dennis Hay are our technical engineers, and Jen Lichty, our VP of Marketing, is playing Video Ninja behind the camera today. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Chris, over to you.
Once again, my name is Chris Moy. I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships here at LocknCharge. I'm here in Madison, our corporate office, in our big demo room. I like to refer to it as the boiler room because it's really hot in here. But hey, we're going to get right to business here. Today, we've got some exciting news to talk to you guys about. But first, let me just jump in. If you guys can see the screenshot or the slide right now, we're just going to jump into a little briefing of like who LocknCharge is, right? So for the last 25 years, LocknCharge has been primarily known as the pioneers in charging stations, charging carts on wheels, charging stations that you can put on and mount onto the wall or put them onto tables. That's where we've primarily been sitting. We were founded by a teacher, coincidentally, out of Perth, Australia, who essentially just started the business making makeshift charging stations, which has since evolved into what LocknCharge is today in North America. So aside from our charging carts and charging stations, we've also launched our FUYL towers. So our FUYL smart locker systems have been around for about 5 to 6 years now, primarily being served as a check-in, check-out hardware solution for mobile devices. But what I'd like to talk through today is where we've since evolved into a much more robust, streamlined solution, right, if you will, helping organizations just battle a pain point around mobile device management, more in particular around charging, replacement, and submitting repairs. A lot of organizations are just wasting a lot of time consumption in, working without devices, having to search for a loaner device, submitting for a repair and having to wait days to get that device back. So what we've done is we've created a solution for many organizations nowadays that have employees that will walk up to one of our FUYL locker systems via the kiosk and process a workflow, whether it's request a loaner, submit a repair request, all in 2 minutes or less. So what I'd like to do today is walk you through a couple of demos, 2 workflows in particular that we're seeing a lot of pain points in. So I'm gonna pan to a different camera. I've got AJ Lamb, our head of engineering here, to showcase an up close and personal snapshot of the iPad. So AJ, if you want to come a little bit closer here. Oh, I think it's there we go.
Personal to me.
All right. So let's just say we've got an employee at an organization or a school.
Hold on 1 second.
Yep. 1 second, guys. All right, so as you can see here, if everyone can see my screen, what you're looking at here is what an employee would see when they walk up to the kiosk. Now, in the event where, hey, I forgot my device or I forgot my laptop at home, I need a laptop for the day to start my work. So I'm gonna walk up to the kiosk and select out of these 3 workflows, loaning. So when I click on that, it's gonna ask whether I want to loan a device or I want to return. Obviously, in this instance, I want to loan a device. Now here in this, you guys won't see this, but the nice thing about the software and the magic here is the fact that customers or organizations are now able to use or integrate whatever self-identifying platform they choose to use in the workplace. So now, for the sake of this example, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select Microsoft. What you will see in this screen is the self-identification screen here. So I will put in my credentials. I will click on next. Now, since I'm looking for a loaner device, the kiosk will start to work its magic. Think about, hey, do I have any devices in my bays? It's searching for a bay that has a device, and then lo and behold, bay number 1 has a device inside. So what I would do is I would take this laptop out, and AJ, if you can kind of pan a little bit closer inside, you'll notice that this laptop was likely charging via USB-C or through the 3-prong outlet that's inside. Once again, we are a charging station at the end of the day, right? So I'm going to close this bay. I'm going to go throughout my day, do my work, and then let's just say 4:55 rolls around. I need to hit the road. First, I need to submit and return this device. So I'm going to walk back up to the kiosk. So AJ, we can pan straight to the tablet again. I'm going to go to the loaning workflow, select return a device. Now here, I have the option to either manually input the serial number of the laptop that I took, or I can choose a scan barcode, which is on the back of this device right here. So since I'm in a rush and I'm a little lazy, I'm going to scan the barcode here. And because I scan the barcode, I no longer have to self-identify myself either, because I'm already tied to the serial number. I will put the laptop back in. I will charge it up for the next person to use it. I'll close the bay, and then in 90 seconds or less, I'm on the road. So that's the end of that workflow. Pretty straightforward. I would like to walk you through one more workflow that's very common in the workplace, and that's broken devices, right? So AJ, I want to have you come pan up a little bit closer again. So let's just say now I have a laptop that's broken. We're going to select on the repair workflow here, drop off for repair. Once again, you won't see the screen, but you will see the self-identified application that the organization is using. We're going to sign in. Now here, it's going to take me to the part of the screen that's going to say what is broken. So here we have the most common reasons why a device would be broken. Either it's a broken screen, a broken keyboard, something else. You know, for this example, I'm going to select keyboard. And then on the next screen here, it's going to say, what is the issue? So it's going to say, hey, elaborate a little bit more. How did the screen break, right? Or the keyboard break? So I will just type in drop. If I can find letters here, I will say, hey, I dropped my device. Keyboard doesn't work. And then here I can either manually enter in the serial ID number or scan the barcode. So what I will do here is I will just make up some serial numbers. I will click on next. Once again, it's going to look for a bay. Here's my broken device that I have a broken keyboard on. I'm going to pop it into the bay, close the door. Now here's the cool thing. Once the bay is closed, a notification is sent to, you know, whoever the organization identifies as that IT person, right? Or the staff member that receives these notifications. And if they have a ticketing system, they can also tie that notification to that email alias. So that person is also notified as well and creates a ticket. So really cool. Once again, that workflow takes about 2 minutes or less. How the organization handles repairs is at their own convenience, but they are aware that now that they have a broken device in the base, in the towers. So I'm going to pause there. That's the kind of like the gist of how our towers will work. If you guys have any questions, please throw them into the chat so we make sure that we answer them before this webinar ends. Okay. Yep. So now, Stacy, if you want to share the next slide here, we're going to jump off of demo. One other thing I'd like to bring up in regards to our FUYL smart locker systems is a few months ago we launched, so after speaking with many organizations in commercial, SMB, education, the biggest thing was, hey, how do we afford this, right? So we've come up with a brand new, amazing pricing model in the form of subscription. So now customers have the option to either purchase a 3 or 5 year subscription-based purchase. So no longer do, now organizations can either prepay for everything up front, or they can pay an annual payments, whether it's a 3 or 5 year subscription. It's a lot of flexibility that it provides the customer. As a reseller, what that does for you all is now it turns into reoccurring revenue, right? Reoccurring gross profit. After a 3 or 5 year term, what we would do is we would work with you all to help that customer extend that subscription. And when they do so, you guys are also credited back with that gross profit margin as well. Now, the benefit for the customer themselves is the fact that, hey, they no longer have to worry about maintenance on the tower. That's all on LocknCharge. Once again, they have the flexibility to pay in annual arrears, and they're entitled to much more support, subscription. Once again, the support on the back end. It's all of the perks that you get in a subscription-based pricing model. So I'm going to stop there again, give you guys a few seconds, just throw any questions into the chat and make sure that we get those answered for you. And now we're going to pivot to something that we've been excited to share with you all. If you haven't seen it in social media yet by now, what we'd like to announce is our newest core product, which is the Bolt 12 charging station. So this all came around having talked to many organizations, more particular in like healthcare and education, where either schools or clinics are just, they're always wanting to make sure that there's a mobile device or a battery pack ready to go, fully charged. They don't want to be without any mobile device in their hands, right? So as a result, we've created the Bolt 12 charging station. And you can either put cell phones, once again, charging battery packs, very small mobile devices now that fit into these charging into this Bolt 12. Now, the cool thing about the Bolt 12 is the fact that, hey, you can put it on it's very compact in size. So you can place it on a table or a desktop or a shelf, and it sits either horizontally or vertically. One of the nicer things is, which I find pretty cool, that we don't see a lot in some other similar devices, is the fact that the Bolt 12 has external LED indicators on the outside. So when the mobile devices or when the phones are inside of these stations, you can lock it or close it. And on the outside, you're going to see external LEDs that identify the status of what the mobile device is in. So, for example, if it's white, that means that bay is empty and ready to be used. If it's red, the device is currently charging. And if it's green, it'll say, hey, my mobile phone or battery pack is either at 90% or fully charged. So no longer do you have to lift open the door to find out what the status of my mobile device charging status is. Everything's on the outside, which is really cool. Lastly, the Bolt 12 comes pre-wired. It is pre-wired with USB-C or USB-C to Lightning. So you have options. Once again, we've got a lot of customers, organizations looking for this type, and we're really excited to have this readily available to you all. This will be available to be resold or ordered starting November 1st and ready for shipping and delivery by the end of the year. So once again, I'm going to pause there. Once again, we're really excited. There's a lot of exciting things going on here at LocknCharge. I'm going to pause to make sure that you guys get your questions into the chat so we can answer that. At this point, I'm going to ask for my man in arms, AJ Lamb, to also help me with some of the questions that come into the chat. We're going to spend the last few minutes here seeing if you guys have any questions for us. Do we have any questions in the queue, Stacy?
Yes. Hi, Chris. We have a question from Jacob, a two-part question. Is there an alert mechanism, and I believe this is regarding the FUYL, is there an alert mechanism for when a device is returned back to the charging slot, but it's not plugged in or charged?
Yeah, so currently that type of alert doesn't exist, but we do know in the back end when things are returned. So we do have there is a notification you can set for loaning, and that notification is set for a time limit that device can be out. So once that device hits that limit, then a notification can go out to a administrator to chase that device down.
Okay, how about for the Bolt?
No, the Bolt doesn't have any notifications at all. It's standalone. There's no it's smart, but it's smart charging.
I think Jacob's asking on that one about the timing for the FUYL tower shipping. He posted that in with the Bolt timeline.
Like whether it's ready to be shipped?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So we call this our enhanced version with the kiosk. The FUYL tower has been shipping for multiple years now, which is this device over here. And now this new enhanced workflow has been shipping as of October 1st. You can get it today.
Yep.
Any other questions? I don't see any posted at this time.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, for the smart lockers, if there are updates to the hardware during the customer subscription period, what are their options for upgrading?
You take that or you want me?
You can go ahead.
So that's a great question. Right now, we're sifting through the details. What I will say is that for customers that will be on the subscription model, they're going to be entitled to many benefits. One of them, we will be looking at upgrade options. We can't get into the details right now because we're trying to sift through that, but there are benefits to being on that, and there will be some options for the customer. Right, exactly. So, yep. Right, and so we don't have any new hardware out right now as we speak. So when that time comes, we'll cross that bridge. Rest assured, our customers are going to be our first priority. So those on the subscription will be strongly considered.
Okay, thanks for that question, Anna. Chris, can you speak a little bit about software releases? How often? How are those rolled out? Or AJ?
Yeah, I'm going to lean on AJ for this one.
Sure, no problem. So our software releases are fairly continuous, honestly. We typically were releasing cloud updates and things like that every couple of weeks. And those just happen transparently with, you'll get an update letting you know what the new software is, things like that. And then as far as firmware releases happen, those happen as necessary. So they just, they'll be notified in the background, and then you can auto update your towers to that, or you can do that manually.
Great, thank you. Any other questions out there? Well, just a reminder, we will keep the chat. Oh, here's one from Anna. What are some software integrations your lockers work with?
Yeah, that's a great question. So currently our lockers enhanced version, which was just the keypad and the screen, we had a direct integration with Incident IQ and Learn21 in the education world, and we have had people do an integration using other systems like ServiceNow and stuff like that as well. With the enhanced version, to start off, we're actually using an email to be ingested by most ticketing systems that will start a ticket, and then we are also going to start working on some integrations in the near future.
Great, thanks for the question, Anna.
Do you want to talk about the identity management systems that it works with?
Oh, sure. Well, you mean the ones that you can actually connect for identity management?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a whole plethora of those. I mean, so basically, as Chris showed you with that little screen up there, we can connect to, with the new system, we're connecting the SSO, and we can connect to basically all the main systems out there, whether it's Microsoft or Google, or, if you're in the education world, ClassLink or Clever or any of the above, we can connect to any of those. The other cool thing we can do now too, which has been asked for for quite a while, especially in the education market, is the ability to just simply, most students and or staff have a barcode on their identity piece, their card, that they can just simply hold up and identify themselves with that, if that's the choice that they want to make for authentication.
All right.
Great questions. We really appreciate it. We'll see if we have any more that fall into the chat box in the next few seconds.
Yeah, and just a reminder, the chat will stay open for 30 minutes after the webinar ends. So just send that over and we'll be monitoring for those questions.
Okay, if there are no other questions, like Stacy said, our chat will remain open for the next 30 minutes or so. So take your time, think about it. If you have questions, throw them into the chat box. We'll make sure that we get them answered. This last slide here, hey, You've got my contact information here. Once again, I'm Chris Moy, with Director for Strategic Partnerships here at LocknCharge. Eddie Munoz is also on the channel team that supports the reseller ecosystem as well. I want to thank you all. This was our first run at doing a reseller webinar, and I think we were pretty successful here, really seeing a lot of good attendance. We wouldn't be here without you guys. We're a channel-centric company, so we look forward to doing a lot more business with you. Once again, please reach out if you have any questions. So you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.